Hello and welcome to another video. This is Voorhees Retro 81. I hope you're all doing well. I just want to start off by saying a big thank you to James. I'm just going to double check that I get the title of his channel the right way round. Retro Import Gamer James. He gave me a shout out recently on a channel and did a video response, and I just want to say a big thank you to you, mate. It was really cool to see your video response. Yeah, we've got a few new subs, so if you're new here, welcome. Lovely to see you guys. It's always great to chat with more people from the community, and it's fantastic to see you all. And again, thank you so much, James. Take care. So at the moment, I haven't been doing gameplay vids of like the indies because my mic isn't working very well, so I'm going to need to replace the adapter cable for it. So those are going to be they'll be coming back, but for the time being, it's just going to probably be me waffling into the camera for a bit. So probably be, a bit of video responses and probably actually some pickups, which people have asked for after I did the last one, and I'm totally happy to do them. But I'm very intermittent in terms of picking up. But I have shifted focus a bit on the retro stuff, and I'm moving back towards something that I was picking up for a while back, and then I just kind of slid off, largely because of I was shifting jobs, so I wasn't doing much collecting at all because I wasn't sure what was going to be going on with work and such like at the time. This was probably around like 2021. But that's the Game Boy Color, a system I really like, and yeah, the system that it's not too bad to pick stuff up for. It's not got lots of stupid heavy hitters that everybody wants like 100 quid for. And I collect Game Boy loose carts. I don't bother with all the the Nintendo cardboard, as James puts it. I'm fully with him on that. I can't be bothered with all that, and I'm not nostalgic for it because we always had like loose carts for our Game Boys back in the day, and it's the carts I have the nostalgia for, not like the daft cardboard boxes that get wrecked after a couple of years of pulling the cartridges in and out of them. But yeah, so I'm moving into that from the Master System. I will still there's still a few things I wouldn't mind picking up from the Master System, and you'll see that in a bit. I'm just going to do a mini baby pickups before I sign off. But yeah. So the Game Boy Color will be cool to head towards. There's some very cool. Certainly, there's quite a lot of quite cool 8-bit style racing games on the Game Boy Color, which is a genre I really like. So, and again, that not wanting to spoiler too much, but there's one of them in what I'm going to look at in a sec. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Also, I have just confirmed that I'm gonna have a job when I finish my professional qualification, which is really exciting. I'm really glad to do that, and that will be with the people I'm working with now, which is great because they're fantastic. I love working for them. They're really supportive of me, and they're a really sound bunch of people. So that's really exciting, and I'm very glad to see that through. If I don't seem that excited, it's because I've got a bit of a bad back at the moment. So life is balancing itself out. But yeah, I'm really hype about that. Looking forward to that. So yeah, so what have I been picking up? Well, it's a small one, and they're going to be small ones. I'm going to adopt I'm going to adopt the Hobby Lodge's approach. Apologies, Martin. I'm ripping you off. I'm not ripping him off because I'm not collecting the C64 hit squad. He's a braver man than I doing that. I can tell you that. No. I'm just gonna put up a vid whenever I've got like say about sort of 5 things together. This is just 3. But it's system varied 3, so bit of everything. So yeah, I'm just going to do that going forward. So, if I've not got a video response to put together, I can just chat pickups, and yeah, just do a bit of show and tell. It's always nice to do that with other tubers anyway. So cool. Alrighty. So we'll go the one bit of Master System first. We have Super Monaco GP. Now, unbelievably, I hadn't ever played this before. I hadn't got this on any of my Sega systems, so it's the first time out. Honestly, I do feel like, from what a lot of people are saying, Super Monaco GP2 with Ayrton Senna is probably the one to scoop up. But this was at such a good price, I couldn't turn it down. I'm still getting the hang of this. To me, it feels a bit like a poor man's World Grand Prix, and only a poor man's because it tries to integrate like a little bit of sim into it. So I really haven't got the hang of like driving the car. I'm always spinning out, like losing traction, you name it. So yeah, but it's a decent game. Looks good. Could do with a bit of music during the levels, but otherwise, top game. Enjoy it a lot. And gonna keep chipping away at it until I understand how to play it properly. Such is life. So yeah, Super Monaco GP for the Master System. And as Game Boy Color games are tiny, you'll see that's why we've got this slightly lower. I hope you're not seeing too far up my nostrils viewpoint on what is not a tripod. It is a practically an improvised vice made out of glasses. It's holding this up. So full production value here. Anyhow, so we've got. I'm going to focus on that. Not quite. I don't know if you can see that properly. So we've got Crazy Bikers. Crazy Bikers is the PAL territory. Not the Game Boys of PAL and NTSC, but you get my drift. That is the European UK release of Motocross Maniacs 2. Now, if you haven't played Motocross Maniacs or in any of its many forms, you are missing out. Imagine a Game Boy version of Kickstart. That game it's not like a heavy hitter or anything, but it's quite tricky to actually find copies of that. So I was pretty chuffed to get hold of that this early. Nail down something that I've been looking for ages, this early into a new push towards collecting for it. And that's a brilliant game. Really, really chuffed with it. So the fact that it was quite tricky to track down, and that's the first time I've ever seen a working copy. Top dollar, very good. I am impressed. It's a very cool game and well worth picking up. And then last and probably least, honestly, we have Armorines Project Swarm. This was a first-person shooter using the Turok engine on N64 back in the day. Now this one's an American import. Well, it's not. I got it in the UK, but the cartridge is the American version. Not totally 100% sure if it came out in the UK. it's not difficult to get hold of, and when you fire it up, you see why. It's not awful, but it's pretty average, and it's very difficult. It's a kind of... It's a bit like Alien Syndrome, but more adventure-y. But the problem with it is that you've only got a close range weapon, and the enemies take 4 or 5 hits to take out, and they run randomly around levels, which results in you taking lots of chip damage and dying quite quickly. It's also coloured in a way that didn't really take into account the fact that the Game Boy Color is not backlit. So, I mean, one of the things I've been considering is trying to pick up an SP, but not like a fancy SP, like, you know, with the IPS backlight and all that kind of stuff. I'm not thinking about going crazy and pushing the boat out on it, but just a general SP to, like, get that sort of side light going on, so that some of these games where people just didn't think about the fact that the console doesn't have a backlight and it's difficult to see what's going on, and react in time to certain things in fast-paced games, when I pick up those kind of games, I can actually see them, and I've got a snowball's chance in hell of getting somewhere. Because this has the same issue that Cryo's Robin Hood does. Robin Hood isn't as bad for it as this, but like things are coloured the same colour as the background that can kill you dead in one shot, and then it's all the way back to the start of the game, and you're just like, ugh, you know, not good. But yeah. So I mean, I'm glad to pick that up. Didn't break the bank on it. It's solid. It's just, you know, it's got a few flaws to it. Certainly not one I'd recommend picking up for silly money. You know, if you see it under a tenner, it's worth a punt, basically. Which is where I came at it from. I was interested to see what they've done in terms of porting it. You have massive, you've got a massive character sprite as well, which, you know, I think it's almost like I felt playing it, it would be smarter to have like an Alien Breed sort of top-down viewpoint on things, because then your character would be taking up a lot less space on the screen. But it uses kind of like I'm going to get all technical now. It uses like an oblique viewpoint, so it's not quite isometric. But it's kind of like your Final Fantasy and Zelda, that kind of viewpoint where you can see like the walls, but you know, it's not fully isometric. So obviously the character takes up like, you know, sort of 2 sprites-ish, rather than 1. But yeah, it's an interesting game. Interesting to see how they did it, and you know, not bad. One for the collection, and you know, like I say, didn't break the bank, so you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. It's got a promise. It's just very hard. And it's very hard. It's very hard, like technically, rather than it being very hard just because it's very hard. It's not like Ghouls and Ghosts where it's very hard, but it's playable. It's very hard because it's not a really good game design. Anyhow, waffling on. Thank you very much for watching, and again, James, thank you so much for the shout out. Really appreciate it. Much love to you, mate. And yeah, you'll probably see a bit more of me nattering. While I sort out my mic cable, but that probably won't be too long, and we'll get some more video footage up. I mean, it is kind of working, but you've got to fiddle around with it a lot, and if you shift your head in the wrong direction, suddenly it's like so it is what it is. Alright, take care guys, thanks very much for listening, and peace out.